Cops are failing to identify a suspect in over half of all crimes reported to them, a Sun investigation reveals. And in 4 out of 5 cases culprits escape any form of punishment. The Sun's investigation found that Brits were facing a postcode lottery on police performance over England and Wales. Tory MP Andrew Bridgen said victims are being failed in a policing postcode lottery. Crime victims face a shocking postcode lottery when relying on police to snare crooks. A huge drawl of official crime records in the past year reveals cops' performances vary considerably over England and Wales. Greater Manchester Police failed to identify a suspect in a staggering 91% of all burglaries. Meanwhile, shoplifters in Devon and Cornwall were nearly twice as likely to face police action than in London. Overall, cops are failing to even identify a suspect in more than half of all crimes reported to them. Critics said the astonishing figures showed crooks are simply getting away with crime. And Tory MP Andrew Bridgen said victims are being let down. Figures show that 48% of criminals were identified by police and only 17.5% were taken action against. He said, "I've never heard anything like this before on this scale. But if one force is far better than others at detecting burglars or whatever, they need to share their best practice so we no longer get a postcode lottery. The public must lobby police and crime commissioners to ensure they get the policing that they deserve." Fellow Tory Alex Shelbrooke said, "These figures show there can be massive differences between different police forces across borders, and that shouldn't be allowed to continue. Our investigation trawled through 10,000 pages of crime outcomes statistics held by the Home Office. The data is made up from records filed by all police forces in England and Wales and covers every crime reported to police, from vandalism to murder. It is even more detailed than published crime statistics." Tory MP Andrew Bridgen said victims were being let down by our police forces. The figures show that of 4.2 million crimes recorded by police forces in 2016-17, suspects were identified in just 2 million, 48%. Action was taken against offenders in just 749,719 cases, equal to 17.5%. Our probe found drivers whose vehicles were stolen in the West Midlands were the least likely to see an arrest, with cops failing to identify suspects in 9 of 10 cases. By contrast, Durham police identified a suspect in nearly half of all reported vehicle thefts, with 20% of all cases leading to charges. Assault victims in South Wales saw their attackers brought to justice in 37% of cases. But in Hampshire only 12% of suspects faced any further police action. Forces claim that cops may identify criminals at a later date, which would skew the figures. Other stark statistics showed how Greater Manchester Police recorded 30,725 burglaries last year, the second highest number after the Met. Yet the force didn't identify a suspect in 27,853 cases, 91%, and took further action in only 1,621. Leicestershire police failed to ID a suspect in 61% of cases. Yet in Devon and Cornwall 1 in 2 shoplifters faced further police action. Forces say cops probing crimes may identify suspects later, meaning the official stats unfairly damning. Shadow Police and Crime Minister Louise Hay said the public will be horrified by these figures. Mum, 43, stabbed to death protecting daughter in Christmas Day party brawl. Lottery player scoops £24.5 million jackpot without matching all 6 numbers. Boxing Day tragedy as 5-week-old baby girl is found dead by parents. Mum furious after buying daughter Christmas doll which called her a BH soundtracks down executioner on Interpol most wanted list to London cul-de-sac. Star Wars, A New Hope actor Alfie Curtis dead aged 87. Home Office spokeswoman said, "We are clear that all crimes reported to police should be taken seriously, investigated and, where appropriate, taken through the courts and met with tough sentences." Shadow Police and Crime Minister Louise Hay said, "The public will be horrified." Met Police launches review of all current sex crime investigations after 2 rape trials.